Daily Speak. Learn, listen, speak.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Sarah, how are you today?
Better now, but my morning got off to a terrible start.
Oh no, what happened?
I woke up late, spilled coffee on the shirt I wanted to wear, and then could not find my keys. Within 10 minutes, I had decided that the entire day was ruined.
The entire day? Before breakfast had even finished?
Breakfast had not survived either. I burned the toast while searching for my keys.
That is interesting, because I burned my toast too.
You did? You seem unusually calm for someone who experienced such a tragedy.
I looked at it and thought, that is bad toast. You looked at yours and thought, this is a bad life.
I did not say bad life.
Your face may have said it for you.
Haha, fair. We had almost the same problem, but we gave it a completely different size.
Exactly. My toast was annoying, but it did not tell me anything about the rest of my day.
I did the opposite. Every small problem started to feel like proof that the whole day would be terrible.
And that is where the power of positivity becomes practical.
Not fake smiles.
Not pretending everything is wonderful when it is not.
Real positivity is saying, this is difficult, without immediately deciding that everything is ruined.
And sometimes it goes much deeper than changing the way you describe a bad morning.
Are you talking about the time you put your keys in the refrigerator?
Beside the vegetables.
You still have to explain how that happened.
I will. It happened during a difficult time when I was trying so hard to stay positive and dependable that I stopped admitting how tired I really was.
So positivity can help, but it can also become unhealthy if we use it to hide how we feel.
Exactly. But before we get to the refrigerator, I need to hear what happened after the toast.
After the coffee and the toast, every new problem started to feel like proof that the whole day was against me.
Maybe you have done this too. One small thing goes wrong, and your mind starts predicting the rest of the day.
Your alarm does not ring. The internet stops working. You miss the bus, and suddenly your mind says, of course, nothing ever works for me.
One bad moment starts telling you a story about your whole life.
That is exactly what happened to me.
So what came after the toast?
I bumped my knee against the table and thought, see, the day really is a disaster. Then I dropped a spoon and treated that as more evidence.
Your mind had become a detective who only collected bad news.
Exactly. Then I heard myself say, nothing is going right, and I stopped.
Because that was not really true.
It was not true at all. The shower had worked. My phone was charged. I had clean clothes, although not the shirt I wanted.
Did you start forcing yourself to feel grateful?
No, I was still irritated. I did not need to pretend that I loved the situation. I only needed a more honest sentence.
What did you say?
Instead of saying, today is a disaster, I said, my morning has got off to a bad start.
That sounds like a very small change.
It was small, but it changed the size of the problem. Today is a disaster includes hours that have not happened yet. My morning has got off to a bad start describes what I actually know.
So when something gets off to a bad start, it begins badly, but we still do not know how it will end.
Exactly. You can say, my morning got off to a bad start, or the meeting got off to a bad start.
A bad beginning does not automatically become a bad ending.
I changed my shirt, found my keys inside the bag I had used the night before, and left home. I arrived at work a few minutes late, but my first conversation went well.
Did the day become amazing?
No. Nothing wonderful happened. The day simply became ordinary.
And ordinary was enough.
Yes. Positivity did not reward me with a perfect afternoon. It stopped a bad 10 minutes from controlling the next 10 hours.
Think about your own morning. Have you ever allowed one small problem to predict the rest of the day?
I definitely did that today.
Mine would still be bad toast, normal life.
That is easier to remember.
It also works well near a toaster.
But there is a limit to this idea.
Here comes the important part.
A small problem does not need to become a disaster, but a meaningful disappointment should not be treated as if it is nothing.
Positivity can become unhelpful when we use it to brush off what someone is really feeling.
That happened when your community workshop was canceled.
And you were the person who tried to make it positive too quickly.
I was.
I had spent several weeks preparing a free Saturday workshop where people could practice speaking English. I printed the activities, checked the sound equipment, and created a detailed plan for the room.
The chair plan had arrows.
The arrows were necessary.
The chairs may disagree.
2 days before the workshop, a water pipe broke inside the community center. The building had to close, so the event could not happen there.
You had worked on it for weeks. That must have felt awful.
It did. People had registered and changed their weekend plans. I worried that they would think I was unreliable.
You called me while holding the chair plan.
Folding and unfolding it. I told you that the room was gone, and you immediately said, "Maybe this is good. Maybe you will find an even better place."
I honestly thought I was helping.
I know, but at that moment, I wanted to end the call.
Because I had skipped over your disappointment.
Exactly. I was not asking for a happy ending. I was telling you that something important had fallen apart.
Your voice became very quiet, and I finally noticed. I stopped and said, "No, wait. This is really disappointing. You worked hard on it."
That changed everything.
You no longer had to convince me that it mattered.
Right. Before that, I felt as if I needed to defend my disappointment. Once you acknowledged it, I could breathe.
I had brushed off what you were feeling.
Yes, you treated it as if it was not important, even though you did not mean to.
Then I asked a better question.
Much better.
I said, "Do you want me to listen, or would you like help thinking about options?"
I requested 2 minutes to complain.
You used 3.
The broken pipe had caused emotional overtime.
Haha. After that, you were ready to think.
Yes, we contacted a small library that had a meeting room. It could only hold half the original group, so I offered the workshop on 2 Saturdays.
And the smaller groups actually spoke more freely.
They did. I eventually preferred the new format. But that does not mean the cancellation was secretly wonderful.
No. If I had said, "See, it all happened for a reason," I would have decided the meaning of your experience for you.
I think real positivity has to make room for disappointment first.
Then, when the person is ready, you can think about what comes next.
Let's hear a quick example. Imagine you say, "I froze during an English video call. Everyone was waiting and I could not remember a simple word."
That really happened to me once.
My unhelpful response would be, "Do not worry. Your English is amazing. Think positively."
Cheerful, but not useful.
Then let me try again. "That sounds frustrating. Do you want me to listen or help you prepare for the next call?"
Help me prepare. I knew what I wanted to say, but I did not know how to enter the conversation politely.
Then you could prepare one phrase. "Could I add something here?"
That already feels more useful.
Because now I understand the exact problem.
Sometimes that helps more than giving someone a huge compliment.
And sometimes the most positive sentence is simply, "That sounds difficult. I'm listening."
But what happens when positivity is not only something other people expect from you?
What happens when you expect yourself to remain calm, cheerful, and dependable every day?
This is the story you promised us earlier.
The refrigerator keys story.
We know where you found the keys. Now tell us why you were so exhausted.
Last year, someone in my family needed help while recovering from an operation. I want to protect that person's privacy, but the recovery lasted several weeks and changed our normal routine.
So your days were no longer really your own.
That is a good way to describe it. I worked in the morning, answered medical calls during breaks, and collected medicine or groceries in the evening. No single task was impossible. I was exhausted because I never felt completely finished.
But whenever I asked how you were doing, you said you were fine.
I gave everyone the same answer. "I'm good, just a little busy."
And that was only partly true.
Exactly. I was managing, but I was also becoming more tired every day. The person recovering was dealing with pain, so I told myself that my stress was too small to matter.
You were comparing your exhaustion with someone else's pain.
Yes, and because their problem seemed bigger, I acted as if my feelings did not count.
You also liked being the dependable person.
I did. I had created a rule for myself. A positive person makes life easier for everyone else. A positive person does not complain. A positive person does not need help.
And nobody had actually told you that you had to be strong all the time.
No, that was a rule I had created for myself.
But eventually, your mind and body started showing you that something was wrong.
Small things began to slip. I once read the same work email 4 times without understanding it. Then came the Thursday evening with the groceries.
The night of the cold keys.
Yes, I had worked all day, stopped at a shop, and started putting everything away while answering a family message.
And then?
I placed the milk in the cupboard and my keys in the refrigerator.
Then you closed both doors.
I did. I stood in the kitchen knowing something was wrong, but I could not understand what it was. A few minutes later, I found the keys beside some vegetables.
At first, that probably seemed funny.
It did. I laughed for a second. Then I stood there holding those cold keys and suddenly felt close to tears.
So that was the moment everything finally caught up with you.
Yes, it was the first visible sign that I had reached my limit. I could no longer tell myself that I was only a little busy.
I sent you a message that evening.
You asked how the week was going. I replied, all good, busy as usual, with a cheerful thumbs up.
But it did not sound like you.
No, it was automatic.
You normally add a detail or a joke, so I asked, how are you really?
I stared at that question for several minutes. Then I pressed the voice message button. For the first few seconds, I could not speak.
I could hear you breathing.
Finally, I said, I'm tired, and I'm angry that I'm tired. I want to help, but I do not want anyone to need anything from me tonight.
And you felt guilty as soon as you said it.
Immediately. I thought it sounded selfish.
I did not hear selfishness. I heard someone who had been available for too long without resting.
You did not rush to cheer me up. You asked, what is one thing you wish someone else would handle this week?
It took you a while to answer.
It did. First, I said everything was fine, and we both knew that was not true. Eventually, I admitted that someone else could handle an appointment on Saturday morning.
And when you finally asked?
The person simply said, of course, I can do that.
No anger, no disappointment.
None. Help had been available, but I had never asked for it.
You also requested more time for a work task.
Yes. I explained that I had a family situation and asked to finish it on Monday. The answer was simple. Monday was fine.
The difficult situation did not disappear, though.
No. The recovery continued, and my work did not vanish. But I had one morning without an appointment and one evening without a deadline.
More importantly, you stopped pretending that you had endless energy.
I began telling a few trusted people, I'm managing, but I'm very tired.
You had been putting on a brave face.
Yes, I looked calm and dependable, but inside I was exhausted.
That is exactly what put on a brave face means.
A brave face can help us through one difficult moment, but it becomes exhausting when it is the only face we feel allowed to show.
Opening up does not mean telling everyone every private detail.
It can begin with one honest sentence to someone you trust.
Such as, I'm having a difficult week and I could use some help.
Or, I do not need advice right now. I just need you to listen.
So what does positivity sound like to you now, during a genuinely difficult week?
It sounds like, this is hard, and I do not want to carry it silently.
That sentence does not promise an easy tomorrow.
It simply allows someone to stand beside you today.
If you have been putting on a brave face, think of one person who has listened carefully to you before.
You might begin with, can I be honest about how this week has felt?
And if someone says that to you, listen before trying to repair the feeling.
Sometimes listening is the help.
So my morning needed a more accurate sentence. Your workshop needed space for disappointment. And your difficult month needed honesty and help.
But there is another problem. Sometimes one imperfect attempt makes us believe that we are simply incapable of improving.
That happened to me in pottery class.
The famous cup.
It is a pencil holder, Alex.
It has lived an interesting life.
Last autumn, I joined an evening pottery class because I wanted to learn something creative. During the first class, everyone tried to make a simple drinking cup.
Yours did not become simple.
Mine leaned so far to one side that it looked tired.
I have seen it. It looks as if it is listening carefully.
That is the kindest possible interpretation. At the time, I looked at the smoother cups around me, placed mine behind my water bottle, and hoped nobody would notice it.
Even though everyone in the room was learning,
I knew that, but embarrassment does not always listen to logic. I thought, my hands cannot do this. I am the only person struggling.
after one class you were ready to quit?
Completely.
So what brought you back?
I had already paid for 4 classes.
Financial optimism.
Not inspiring, but effective. My next pieces were still uneven. During the 4th class, I photographed a new bowl and compared it with the first cup.
Was the bowl beautiful?
No, but it stood upright. Its sides were smoother, and the top edge was less wild.
You sent both photographs to me. I remember saying, "Your hands look steadier now."
That helped more than saying, "You are incredibly talented."
Because I was pointing to something real.
Exactly. When we do not feel confident, a huge compliment can slide straight past us. Specific evidence is harder to dismiss.
You were starting to get the hang of pottery.
Yes, it was beginning to feel more natural, even though I was still making mistakes.
That is what "get the hang of something" means.
English learners experience that too. At first, every sentence requires planning. Later, a familiar phrase appears naturally, and you think, I did not translate that.
That moment counts.
You do not need to say, my English is perfect.
You can say, "I understood the main idea,"
Or, I kept the conversation going.
or "I noticed and corrected my mistake."
But progress does not feel clear every day.
No, Tuesday may feel harder than Monday.
But Tuesday does not erase Monday.
Sometimes progress simply means that you returned and practiced again.
Think of one small thing you can do now that felt more difficult a few months ago.
Maybe you can complete this sentence. I can see progress because...
Then add one detail you can actually observe.
What would your sentence be?
I can see progress because my bowl stood upright.
A major achievement.
My final cup never became safe for drinking. One side was lower, so you had to choose the correct direction before taking a sip.
A cup with instructions.
It became a pencil holder. But when I see it, I remember that beginner describes where you are. It does not decide where you can go.
That sounded polished.
Then, let me say it more naturally. I was bad at pottery, became a little less bad, and that was enough to keep me interested.
Much better.
So far, positivity has changed how we speak to ourselves and how we support people we care about.
But in a tense public situation, one sentence can also influence what happens next.
This is the train station story.
The ticket system stopped working during the busiest part of the afternoon. The machines went dark, the information screens kept changing, and the line at the service desk crossed half the station.
And you needed to change a ticket before an evening appointment.
Exactly. I joined the line and waited. People stared at their watches, raised their voices, and demanded answers that the employee did not have.
I imagine you were becoming angry too.
Very. I prepared an entire speech about terrible organization and valuable time.
A dramatic speech?
A deeply important speech delivered to the one person who had not caused the problem.
Did anything stop you?
Yes. When I reached the desk, I saw the employee moving between a frozen computer and a pile of forms. Her hands were shaking slightly.
That must have changed the way you saw the situation.
It did. Everyone's frustration had been directed at her, as if she had personally broken the system.
So you put the speech away.
I did. Instead, I asked, "While the system is down, is there any information we can prepare?"
What did she say?
Travelers could have their identification, ticket number, and preferred new time ready.
So you shared that with the people behind you.
Quietly, I told the next few people, and they passed it farther back.
Did the system begin working immediately?
No, we still waited nearly 40 minutes.
That detail matters.
Positivity did not remove the inconvenience. The line remained long, but the voices became lower, and people began preparing information instead of repeating the same angry questions.
Your question helped set the tone.
Yes, the way I spoke influenced the feeling of the interaction.
But you could not control the entire crowd.
No, some people remained angry. My choice could not control them. It only decided what I would add to the situation.
Sometimes positivity is simply choosing not to add another angry voice.
A useful question is, what would be helpful right now?
That could help during a tense group project too.
Instead of saying, "This is not my fault," you could say, "We're all frustrated. What can we decide right now?"
That does not ignore responsibility. It just gives the conversation somewhere useful to go.
These stories were very different, but they kept bringing us back to the same idea.
Real positivity does not deny what happened.
It helps us describe the moment honestly, listen before fixing, notice real progress, and ask for support when we need it.
Before we finish, which expression from today do you think you will actually use?
Mine is, put on a brave face.
Why that one?
Because I want to notice when "I'm fine" is a truthful answer and when it is only my automatic answer.
That is a good one.
What about you?
Mine is, get off to a bad start.
Because of the coffee?
And the toast. And the keys. The next time my morning begins badly, I want to describe the beginning without giving it control over the afternoon.
What about get the hang of something?
I will save that one for my next pottery class.
Are you going back?
Let's not become too positive.
Haha, fair enough.
What about you? Which expression fits something in your life?
You can make one simple sentence with it. Say it quietly, write it down, or record it as a short voice message.
Some days really are difficult.
Some plans fail. Some problems cannot be repaired quickly.
Real positivity does not rewrite what happened.
It helps you choose a truthful next sentence.
That sentence might be, "This moment is difficult, but it is not the whole day."
It might be, "I can see progress because I kept going."
Or it might be, "I'm having a difficult week and I could use some help."
What truthful next sentence do you need this week?
Write one sentence in the comments if you feel comfortable. It can become your English practice, and it may give another learner the words for something they have been feeling too.
If this conversation helped you, like the video and subscribe to the Easy English podcast for more natural English conversations.
Take care of yourself, especially on mornings that begin badly.
And please check the refrigerator before reporting your keys missing.
Haha, we'll talk again soon.